Hello again, Jeremy from Rhodeswood in Harrogate in the United Kingdom. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm going to, if I may, talk to you about shoes. And most men get their shoe size wrong. Your size in trainers is not your shoe size. Trainers are normally US sizes, so if you're in the UK at least, they're a good size above. And we have a saying that shoes come in pairs, but feet very rarely do. So it's usually a compromise. So I'm going to measure Freddie's feet, and there's many different ways of measuring. This is one system we use. So if he puts his foot at a right angle, and I lay this on the floor, and I show you here, it's just kind of over a 7. Do that again because I think that may have slipped. Just over a 7 there, which we add 2 onto, meaning he's roughly a 9. So if I measure his other foot, from the inside, sorry, Fred. And that's ever so slightly under a 7. At 2 on, just under a 9. So his feet aren't exactly the same, and most people's aren't. So we hear it so oftentimes, oh, I've got 1 foot different. Most people have. For some people, it can be as much as a size. So shoes come in pairs, but feet rarely do. I'm measuring Freddie as a 9. And if I look at his foot, there's nothing too high on the instep. It's not over wide. A standard E fitting in the UK should be fine. And he will suit something like an Oxford lacing, where the lacing is closed under the U-throat or the vamp there. So if I slip this on with a shoehorn, of course. Now if you heard that sound, that slight displacement of the air, that's a good indication to me that we're on the right track. And if I get Freddie just to pop his foot up and I lace this up, you should be aiming for a sort of a gap like this, which is about perfect, a little bit roomy on him. If that meets, the shoe's probably too big. So you should be aiming for a slight gap here, and as his foot over the few weeks sinks into the cork bed, the shoe will adjust and this will start to meet and lace together, about 6 to 8 weeks. If it meets now, I think the shoe's probably too big, and there's nowhere for it to lace in 6 to 8 weeks' time. So if I lift his foot up then and push this shoe back, there's very little gap at the heel. I can move the leather. That's a pretty good fit. If anything, slightly on the big side. So that's an Oxford fastening. If you probably give your other foot, Freddie. For somebody that's pass your foot up, please. Very high on the instep and very broad, they're going to need a wider fitting and probably a derby. So if I put this on this one, I thought that was a left, and we slip this off. If we put this one on, and you lift your foot up, Freddie, this is already meeting. It's a white fitting. You can see all that excess leather. Way too big, way too big. There's nowhere, once his foot's sunk into the cork bed and the shoe's flexed, to lace in any further. So all you'll end up with is a big crease here and an untidy looking shoe and probably a blister. So shoe fitting is very important, and unfortunately sometimes the style that you may favour doesn't suit the shape of your foot. So moving on to a loafer, there is no lacing here. There's nothing to adjust on this shoe. So the shoe needs to be reasonably firm when it's new. And you're going to have to buy a loafer in the right kind of last for your foot and the right width. If you're very high instepped, it could be uncomfortable. You're certainly going to need a wide fitting. But Freddie's, he's not high instepped. He's a reasonably slim foot. A standard E should be fine. But it must be quite a firm fit, because once the shoe has relaxed, there's nothing to lace in. If the shoe's big on in the first instance, you will be stepping out of them. So we'll just slip this on for Fred. And lift your foot up, please. So again, not much of a gap at the back there. It fills out the shoe, plenty of room over the front, over the top of the apron. So that's what you should be looking for. Out of all of the 3 shoes, and nobody wants to buy a shoe that's uncomfortable, but the Loafer should feel quite firm, because as I say, once that's relaxed 6-8 weeks time, then there's nothing to lace in or adjust. So just remember with your loafers, reasonably firm fit. So I hope that helps. And your 2 fastenings there, the Derby, which anyone with a high instep or a very wide foot, it opens all the way. A lot more entry into the shoe. And then the Oxford, which has the close lacing, perfect for the foot you've just seen. And then the Loafer as is worn. So I hope that helps. Please like and subscribe. And any questions that you have, please ask, and I'll try to get round to answering them all. Thank you.